Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to your Co-op Community Stadium. And we've got the penultimate Vanarama National League North fixture at home for you for the Breaks as they host Radcliffe FC. Alongside me, Paul Edwards, I'm Ethan Gardiner, and we're looking forward to what should be a nice afternoon for both clubs. Safety pretty much guaranteed for Radcliffe. Something would have to go seriously wrong with their season from here on out. Obviously, the Breaks already safe and aiming for a record points total in this division. Both sides coming into this one on mixed form. Leamington, of course, with one win in their last 5. That was against South Shields, but last time out losing 2-0 away to Peterborough in an unfortunate result. Radcliffe in their last 5 have picked up 4 points, including beating Scunthorpe, the title-chasing Scunthorpe, 1-0 at home in their last match. The ends are being swapped, so Leamington are going to be attacking the home end in the first half. Radcliffe going towards the north bank. So what are your thoughts on the management duo we're up against today, Paul? I know you've seen them here before. They're an experienced duo.
Yeah, they certainly are, Ethan. They've been here with 3 or 4 different teams now. I think Radcliffe's probably the 4th. They came here first time with Salford. Yeah, they've had a lot of success. You can't knock them for that. They've had high standards along the way as well. I do seem to remember them complaining about the grass being too long on the pitch or something after one defeat here. I think it was when they were with Chester. So I'm not sure they'll be like that today. You know, they're at their local club now, so probably means more to them than maybe it did managing the likes of Chester and Spennymoor perhaps, but yeah, they're good blokes.
The Breaks have won a corner in amongst all that. It was Berridge who'd taken a shot. It crept through the legs of the Radcliffe defender and was saved out of place. So Landers comes across to take this one. Ball works its way across the Quainer on this left-hand side. He finds Farmer. Farmer then makes a run down this left-hand side. He's gone round Thornley and then he's being pulled back, and the referee, Farmer, had broken beyond 2 players in Radcliffe blue down this left-hand side. He had space to run into, but his shirt was being pulled back. He couldn't advance, and the referee, who had a great view of it, gave nothing. Corner at the North Bank end on the right-hand side of play as we're watching on from the Mick Brady. Just gets away from Lois Maynard. St Kitts and Nevis International was running onto that. He was unmarked. Sends the long boot forwards. Hewelt up towards Hume, who brought it under control but lost the ball. Quainer now puts boot through ball to clear. Up towards Thornley. A very unpopular figure here today, Thornley. Quainer then clears again up towards Berridge, but headed away by Smith into the midfield. Williams then knocks it on forwards, but Glendon brings it under control and onto the floor, and Radcliffe will try and play with this. Here's Greenfield, sends that pass towards Hancock. Hancock then slides in to Hume. Hume holds onto the ball under the pressure of Quainer, goes down, nothing doing from the referee. The Breaks will have a chance to clear through Adam Walker, but he loses out. Glendon now plays it down the right-hand side to Greenfield in the right wing position for Radcliffe. Brings it under control, back to Glendon. Glendon, who's already scored his first goal for the club, having only joined in January, turns Adam Walker and then tries to get beyond Quainer and does so through his legs, delivers a ball into the box through the back post. And just beyond ball, his striker, and out of play for a goal kick, but a dangerous opportunity. And I think that was the closest chance we've seen to anybody scoring so far today, Paul. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it? It was a good ball across the face of goal. For some reason, Ball decided not to at least try and go for it.
Hewalt's long ball forwards has gone right down the middle towards David Ball, who's hit that on the half volley, and that's just past the post.
That's the clearest chance for either side, yeah, that is.
And you've got to say, he's probably got to do better there, the new Radcliffe forward. He's only had a couple of matches in the blue of the borough, but to miss that opportunity will be disappointing to the experienced striker. And it's a celebratory atmosphere for both teams really today. Both teams safe and enjoying the sunshine and football, but on the pitch it's quite frustrating to watch. Down this left-hand side, Carson plays it into the box. Ball tries to bring it down. It's going to fall to Greenfield, who shoots and scores, but the whistle was blown before he hit the effort. Evans had gone down, but that wasn't the reason. It was actually an offside given in favour of the Breaks. So despite a very tidy half-volley finish from Radcliffe's midfielder Greenfield that kissed the bar on its way in, Hawkins sends a boot into the midfield, looking for Jack Edwards. It's gone backwards off of a Radcliffe head, but no one's really bringing this under control. Edwards then wins the flick on this time, and here's Berridge with the ball under control. Plays that to the right towards Walker. He's going to hit it from the edge of the box, and it's low and saved by the goalkeeper. It was a cross goal, a nice faded effort from Walker, and I think that might be the first shot on target for the Breaks.
Little bit further to the keeper's right, he might have been struggling a little bit. But
some agitation there from the co-managers of Radcliffe. You might have heard it down the microphone, much to the laughter of the home fans, but they come forwards here and they've just hit an effort. That was Greenfield from Radcliffe who's just hit an effort wide down the right-hand side. They almost caught Leamington on the break. Hume wins that one and brings it down for Jackson, who's on the edge of the box now for Radcliffe. He can't hit it on his right, though, manages to turn inside, hits it on his right foot this time, and it's just past the post, and Jackson was running away from goal there, seemingly uncomfortable with playing it on his left. He was looking for any kind of pass possible. He then pulled a Cruyff turn away from two Leamington players and on the edge of the box hit it with his right, but it's curled around the post. They've sent forward a significant number of bodies, Maynard from centre-back, and Smith from centre-back as well. Not to mention Thornley, the incredibly tall right-back, who again has George Ward for company. The ball sent into the box and just headed over by Maynard. It was a great delivery by Tom Walker, and on the edge of the 6-yard box was the centre-back Lois Maynard. And he should have buried that, really. He's taken the armband off of Jordan Hume, who perhaps would have buried that chance. And as I mentioned, for Leamington, this takes them level with their points record in this division, albeit for 24 teams rather than 22, which is when they last achieved 54 points. Meanwhile, for Radcliffe, this is a point closer to safety, but they could have guaranteed safety today, and they haven't taken that opportunity. Landers takes the corner in towards the back post, and there's Williams arriving. And it's gone out of play, and the referee's given a goal kick. Yeah, a very strong home record so far this season at York Cup Community Stadium as the corner goes towards the back post. Williams wins the header, it's bouncing towards goal, and just over the bar. It was close from Ewan Williams, who got up really well over his man, and that's 2 corners in a row that have found him. Well, before we even get the goal kick, there is the full-time whistle to call an end to today's Vanarama National League North action. In your penultimate home game of the season at York Co-op Community Stadium, it has ended Leamington 0, Radcliffe 0. A frustrating display from two teams who realistically are safe this season. What are your overall reflections on how that match went, Paul?
it was always going to be a scrappy affair. Two teams with not a great deal to play for. There wasn't really any really clear-cut scoring chances to speak of in the first half. Maybe a couple in the second half, but yeah, I think a goalless draw's the right result, isn't it, really?
In an intensely frustrating match, it ends Leamington 0, Radcliffe 0.
Paul, 0-0 here against Radcliffe. We don't have many of them at the ground, but it's a point closer towards your 60 tally and a clean sheet. Your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, to try and take the positives out of the game. Difficult, listen, it was a difficult afternoon for everybody, whether you were playing in it, watching it. Hard to get any control of the ball, really. Always knew it was going to be a difficult game. There'll be lots of difficult games up and down the country, I would have thought. And you're hoping that you can probably just, defend your box well. When the game's like this, you're not going to get opened up with too much quality because it's probably hard to get hold of the ball and play through and whatever. So if we concentrate and defend set plays well and stay switched on, then a clean sheet is something. It's probably similar to the Kings Lynn game, but we were sloppy at the end against Kings Lynn. So really pleased that we're just on a little bit of a blip of a run recently. We probably certainly in the 2 previous games, listen, we've had 1 or 2 people missing, but we've certainly dangling legs out and turning backs and making poor decisions with and without the ball. But I thought it was better today. It was difficult, but it was better. Games like today, when you're involved in that, you certainly don't want to lose them because they're frustrating. They're frustrating to play, and they're frustrating as a coach or a manager to try and what you want the players to do, but you can't do it. So listen, the biggest plus is. You can't lose sight of the fact that these are you're going to look at the team sheet, the squad of players they've got to look at what a really good side these are. Northern Premier champions last year. It's a clean sheet. It's another point on the board, and you take that. We defended our box well. They've had a couple of moments. We've had a couple of moments. I think a draw's about right. It's. I think Callum's done well there. Back four have defended well today. We've competed in the middle of the park. Just like you say, Tim's had that moment early in the game. Owen's had a couple of moments of the game. Henry's had his moment. We had moments, but that's all it was today. So, but I thought the things we can control, I thought we've done better today than we have in the previous 3 games. So that's something we can't take out of the game.
Only the few games left. How good does it feel that you're not having to get maximum points out of these games because we are safe, and that last home game can feel a bit more like a celebration as such?
Yeah, it is. But as I point out to the players, listen, we're in a. I'll go back to my conversation in July or August when you look at the league and you look at the teams in the league, and we know who we're with. And at the moment we're ahead of them teams. And as I said then, I'll say it again now, is that you'll always get teams that 1 or 2 overachieve, 1 or 2 underachieve. So at the moment we're in a strong position in the league, and that's the challenge, to try and finish in them areas. What you don't want to do is just, pack up early and you get defeat, and all of a sudden you slip down the league. And as well as there's always going to be a sense of achievement stopping in it when you look at the good sides that are leaving it. But we've got ourselves into a position where we're sort of nicely placed, heading towards the middle of the table. We want to try and stay there. Got some 3 tough games. I thought it was a bit more like it today. I want to pick some more points up to try and stay. At the moment we're in the league ahead of 2 full-time football clubs, ahead of 1 ex-football league football club. So, that they're the kind of things at the end of the season you want to be looking at. So first target's achieved, and the next target is how many points can we get on the board, and and how high can we finish? And you've got to keep having targets. There has been that sense of bit lethargic, and everyone's we've done really well. I think we'll do really well if we can sort of finish with more points, and as high, instead of finishing 20th, finish 14, 15, 16, whatever it is. And that's the challenge that we've got to try and do. And I thought there was more intent about us today. With everything that we did, I could see that today. And I just, like you say, just struggled to get control of the ball. I think what we want to do here is try and get our control and get our wide men in the game, and get our wide men 1v1. Get lots, if you look at the stats here, the amount of crosses we put in the box, how we play. But just find that difficult at the moment. So we've just got to find ways, really. But like I said, we had good moments. Tim had a couple of good moments. Owen, Henry, there was moments in the game. They've had moments as well. So listen, really good football club, Radcliffe. I think coming into this league last year, and what they did last year, look at the result last week. But this is a really, really tough, unforgiving league, and move on. So we something really to look forward to next weekend with Hereford and then Brackley here, which could be a massive game, and got to keep them levels up and hope we find a little bit more quality.